We are Liggity Live. These guys forced me to watch Book of Boba Fett, and yeah, so that's why we're going to talk about it today. Just dropped. It dropped like what, last night?
This morning.
This morning.
Yep.
Oh yes, the Book of Boba Fett, one of the TV shows long since teased since whenever the Mandalorian 2 was out.
Yes, season 2.
I only watched 4 episodes of season 1 and didn't continue from there. But you know, that's me. That's how I roll with this. Yeah. So Angus, since you're a little more hyped for it than I was, you want to give any pretense to Book of Boba Fett or any of that?
How do you mean?
I don't to get us diving in, I guess, to get people going in.
Yeah, so this show is kind of like Marvel with their stuff. This is in continuity with The Mandalorian. So this is like an in-betweener between season 2 and 3 of The Mandalorian. Maybe certain plot threads will intertwine, but this is taking place afterwards. And so if you're coming in fresh from any Star Wars stuff, you're going to be like, wait, what? Especially, I think, going forward, details we start gathering, you're going to be kind of lost if you haven't seen season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. Hopefully, at least you've seen like the original trilogy and the prequels to have at least full context understanding of Boba Fett, because they do some like kind of quick flashbacks in this show, which I liked, addressing a bit of the prequels. I didn't really expect that with Boba Fett, since he's such a like original trilogy like fandom character. But yeah, it's pretty. I liked it. I thought it was a good soft opening for a show that is kind of experimenting with this kind of delivery system in between another show. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, man. I really liked it, and it got me going this morning while I was kind of. I go with my mom to the grocery store on Wednesdays to, to help her do it, because she's getting up there in age. And I remember I watched it I woke up at about 5 this morning, and I was like, yeah, baby. I was up anyway. Ain't no way I was going back to sleep. I went ahead and watched it. And then a little while after I got back from, going to the store. But while I was at the store, I saw a lot of people had posted, so I couldn't help but listening to their reviews. And I hate it that I do a review, so to speak, with you guys all at once here at the same time, having heard theirs already. But I disagree somewhat with some of the more negative reactions. And then again, it was a slow, like I think Thor Skywalker said, it was a real slow, and so did Star Wars Only, a slow burn and boring. But I thought it checked off all the boxes of what we've been asking for as a fandom for quite some time. I love the fact that they got Tamura Morrison to play Boba Fett. I mean, if you didn't, how could you go through with it? But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'd say, like, for me, like, I didn't really enjoy it, but it's probably not for any of the reasons.
Luke.
It's probably not for any of the reasons that everybody else doesn't. No, it's all good. Like, I didn't really enjoy it because it felt like it expects you to already like this type of a thing, and like I wanted to be hooked in some way to go, okay, what's it going to show me to where it'll get me invested to want to check it out again later. And it just seemed like, I don't know, like I don't really care what happens in it again. I kind of felt like this with The Mandalorian. Like, they're expecting you to watch all the episodes, it feels. And I'm like, I don't know, you kind of got to get me to want to see the next episode first. That's kind of how I felt with it, just to sum up my feeling about it, I suppose.
Yeah, I do got to rewatch it, because like I watched this while I was like driving to work, so it's kind of like in and out and like open spots on the road, but I like, this reminds me of season 2 Mandalorian. A lot of the first like 3-4 episodes a lot of people complained about, which I actually really liked, because it felt like, all right, we're not like being plot heavy, we're not trying to gather like information dumps so much as like we're just living in Star Wars. And I think that's something that like the movies don't really allow for much, because it's like we got to get to certain points, got to delineate certain things. So you only get little brief Easter eggs that make you want more of like the background stuff, like, ooh, what's going on? And this show allows that.
Yeah.
So I thought this was really fun, especially like we've already seen some Tusken Raider depth in The Mandalorian that we didn't know about. Unless maybe you're an EU person, maybe you know, I don't know. But it's kind of like a illustrated encyclopedia type of information that you would just maybe they like wrote this stuff, but they never had a chance to delineate in a show. And now we do. And it's cool because it's like, oh, like this is how they kind of live out in this desert. They're adding context that like average people are like, who cares? But like, it's just fun, man. Like, I love stuff like The Revenant. I love like slow burn, quote unquote, boring films and stuff that take the time to do this kind of thing. And so I'm enjoying that aspect of it.
Yeah, same. They showed the difference between the Jawas being like scavengers, more so anyway, and the Tusken Raiders being more of a, we need your stuff and we need you too to help us. They put them into slavery, which is kind of, it follows the same line of, I guess, thinking that George Lucas felt when Anakin's mom was taken. When Shmi was taken from the water evaporating round, she was taking the mushrooms. They kept her, like, I guess to abuse her or have her be a slave for some reason. I don't know.
I think it's pretty clear why they took her.
Yeah.
They needed some poontang from somebody who hadn't gotten it in a while, apparently. So
she had the full.
She was a miracle woman, so
Yeah, but it showed a difference between the type of the Jawas versus the Tuskens, and then this was a completely different sect of Tuskens. They looked like they were kind of like leadership types. So that was cool. And one thing I couldn't figure out was when the youngling Tusken Raider takes the Rodian and Boba across the desert with his massive, and they're starting to look at like these, I guess, water bandits, and they were roughing up some family. My daughter was watching it with me earlier, and she goes, "Is that the Luke Skywalker place?" And I was like, "No, but I can see
the Luke Skywalker place."
Yeah, like I was like, I know, I can see why you would think that, but it wasn't. So anyway, they left there, and then, the bandits leave. And then you see the youngling Tusken Raider, Boba, and the Rodian leave. What was the point? Were they just walking all that way just to look? Now, that's the one thing I didn't get, but I figure they're setting something up for later, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Is that what you gleaned from it too, Angus?
Yeah.
When they're walking off with the Tusken and them just in the middle of the desert, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Like close to the end, like the last 10 minutes, really.
No, I didn't really think much on that. I was kind of taking that in. It's weird for me, like reviewing stuff, because I do have like a critical angle, but at the same time, I kind of digest most content like a normie, and I have to like rewatch it to start tearing it apart. That's why I like spoilers, because then I can go in knowing plot points, and it's all about delivery, execution, in sense.
That's just kind of interesting, because I kind of went at this as a normie too, and I just wasn't interested in it. Like, I didn't want to see what happens next. Just nothing. I guess if I were to say, like, the music was fine, like, that was all right.
Dude, the music was badass. I love it. Like, I'm not one to like just, I see new content of established franchise, and I do like the normie recency effect, like, oh my god, this is the bestest ever. But like nothing beats John Williams' scores for all 9 films. But I don't know if this is the same composer from The Mandalorian.
It is,
but it's definitely okay. That makes sense. So it's definitely the same vein, but it's different. It has a different vibe to it, and it's a bit more reserved, especially like the theme. Like I listen to the theme, I'm just like, damn, like this is cool. This is different. First time I watched Mandalorian, I'm like, this is not Star Wars music. What the hell? And then it grew on me, and it's like,
yeah.
Now I love it, man. It's like a little jingle for my channel, But yeah, just that really added to the essence of the whole kind of, we're getting more focused Western vibe. Mandalorian kind of pulling from Boba, but it's like a more wide ranging show. This is like we're following the bounty hunter.
Yep, his everyday life, but kind of we all wanted to know to a degree what happened to Boba after he went into the Sarlacc pit. There've been a lot of conjecturous fan films made, but I'm okay that they kind of took the time to do it in what they would call, canon under the Filoni Favreau verse. And once they got past that, I felt like we were going to get to see where he was at with this whole I am the crime lord situation. And I will say it was a little, the fight in the middle of the streets of Mos Espa, the fight was a little rough. Like it wasn't as cool as, say, John Wick or something, but not even as cool as like a lightsaber fight on a bad day. It was just not great. But it was like, okay, you get the idea. And the Gamorrean guards come and save them, sort of. It was all right, but you touch on a point, though. The music, it really can help you, take you in and out of the situation, no matter how good it is.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to add with the Gamorrean guard, I was thinking about this while I was driving, watching it, listening to it, and then especially after, like, that's the one thing I would complain about for sure, is like, if I'm like taking over a regime of power of whatever sort, it's like, oh yeah, they served Jabba and Bib Fortuna and they didn't surrender after their deaths. Like, well, they let them die. Why would I let them have a third chance? Like,
they're just as useful as the Red Guards from TLJ. Apparently.
I would
it's like oh
instantly,
yeah, our guys keep on getting killed. That's not a good track record.
I would instantly, and this isn't based on any lore, Boba Fett, or any of that. I don't know EU shit. I don't really care. Like just take it, being a crime boss and stuff, like even just trying to be a bit different than Jabba, it's like I would like instantly kill those guys.
I'd say they're not good at their job. It's like if they're a bodyguard, I'd be like, you let 2 of your clients die. Fuck you, you're done. Just do a different job here. Just because people call you Gamorrean guards and you know that, you can be a Gamorrean salesman or something else. You can be a Gamorrean milkman. I don't know.
Sell Gamorrean Geico.
A Gamorrean farmer. I don't know.
Hey, what's up, Tim?
We got Timothy in the chat. What's up? And we got I can't read these symbols here. What is that? I don't know. Hello.
I recognize her. I can't remember.
Is that Sherry? I can't.
I don't know if it's Sherry or if it's
somebody else. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what the symbols are on there right now. But hello, regardless. Hello. Yeah, we're trying to do a quickie. We each have a little bit of time that are free at the moment.
I'm literally going to, after this, I'm literally going to sit down with my kids and rewatch episode 1.
Okay, it is Sherry. Okay,
nice.
So I was like, what? That's good. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna say?
Hail Sherry, and I'll get this one, Rook. You guys are on a roll there. I'm gonna get Amber for it.
Okay, cool. All right. So what was I gonna say? I'm just saying. I guess what was your favorite part of the episode? I guess.
It's really cool. The Sarlacc pit, just like the whole like kind of quiet like 3-minute opening of like the prequels with the helmet. One thing stupid though is the way they filmed the different angle of Kid Boba with the helmet. Like you can literally see through the visor on the ground, and it's like too much of the visor because Jango Fett's head would be in there. It's like, why didn't you just black out?
No, it wouldn't be in there. It wouldn't be in there actually.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because you missed the detail in the Attack of the Clones where the shadow of his head slides out. It's a really nice detail that actually gives a lot of credit to attention to detail in Attack of the Clones. That when his head, when you see the helmet drop to the ground in the Attack of the Clones, in the bottom right corner, you see the shadow of its head falling out.
Okay.
So
no,
it would
because
not be in there.
The whole thing. Well, I mean, I just assumed he had like a football like tight fitting helmet, which makes sense. He does combat and shit potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, like not knowing that detail, I'm watching this. And I'm like, ooh, poor detail right there. Like, his head should be in it, so it's like you shouldn't see that much see through that much visor. So I guess that's a good detail. I was totally unaware. All these years since 2002, I've been unaware that his head fell out of the helmet. That's been a joke.
A lot of people haven't known about that. Actually, it's like a recent discovery for a lot of people. They're like, "What? They did that? What?"
Yeah, because my whole thing was like when he takes the Jango's armor and retools it as Boba, like, he had to like pull his dad's head out of there. Like, oh man, that'd be so traumatic.
Were you aware of that detail in Attack of the Clones, where the shadow of the head?
Sure was. As soon as the movie came out, I went in the theater and saw it, Attack of the Clones. But my cousin got a DVD before it ever came out in that form, and I had it constantly going in my room through my, I think, PlayStation 2 or 3. And I would pause it. There was so much dense material and cameos and not going on in the background. I would play that thing constantly and look at every single detail to see the Jedis in the background and who they were and what they were doing, what kind of kicks and punches. So I happened to notice that for sure.
Okay, yeah, it was a nice little detail. Same with Jango when Mace was closing in on him, he tried to use his jetpack and it failed. It didn't work right away because it got injured from the dinosaur thing that Anakin rode.
Yep.
Or whatever. So it's little details. Anyway, back to Boba Fett. What was the point of that? Oh, because the flashback with the Boba as a kid when he's chilling in the.
Oh yeah, sorry. My favorite part was like the end, the whole kind of like silent alliance with the Tusken Raiders, where it's like it just adds depth to like his mystique. But at the same time, he's been on Tatooine multiple times. You assume with Jabba. And
yeah, I would assume.
So I would assume maybe he's already like maybe crossed paths, and this is a non-fair. But maybe at the same time, maybe the Tuskens, we all view them as just they're all Tuskens, but like maybe they're like Indians, where it's like, well, that's like the Cherokee Tuskens, that's the Comanche Tuskens. It's like, yeah, they're all like
bad Tuskens.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
No. I never thought of the Tuskens as good or bad. They're just.
Well, I'm just saying. Some people would say they're all animals, are all crazy because that's what Obi-Wan says.
I killed them like animals.
It's like, yeah, but it's like maybe not all Tuskens are all the same, like you said. So
not all men.
Yes, we are not so different, you and I.
We did this before.
So I don't know. I kind of think it's kind of weird how he assumes control. He just is like, I rule now, essentially, and it's like,
see, this is
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand anything more about Tatooine based on this or about its structure. I thought it was kind of a lawless thing anyway. Like gangsters kind of run it, but I don't really get how they run it. Really, they're just around.
Yeah, see, this is the problem of you not seeing Mandalorian, because like it's like an end credit scene deleted into the show.
No, I've seen that scene where he assumes, he like beats the shit out of them in the palace and takes the place. But like, okay, I do that to a king. Now what? Like, how does everybody know? Like, I don't know. It seemed like in this episode nobody else really understood that, or not that many understood that. Some did. Some don't. Like, what does that mean to rule it now? I don't understand. I don't see that there.
No, it's a good angle. I agree to a point that like it's kind of like in Game of Thrones. It's like if you have to say you're king, you're not a king. And it's kind of like he's just like going door to door like a Jehovah's Witness, like, "Hi,
hi, I'm your king.
The crime lord now. You're going to give me tribute, so we're just going to, just go about it like you did with Jabba."
I guess what I'd be asking for is if they're trying to show that he's the established new guy, I don't know, have him do something in the episode that clarifies that, other than saying that's what he is, because like it's just people going to him, giving him tributes, and he's like, that one doesn't have a tribute for me. That sucks. Like, I don't know. It just seems lackluster in that area to solidify that, because I'm like, what does it mean to be one anyway? You just sit there. I know Jabba did, but we assume it's been like years.
It's like Farquaad, where he's like, I'm the king. I'm wearing the crown.
Like I saw Jabba as like people come to him because he is the known head one for a long time and whatever, and plenty of allies. But Boba's brand new, and he's like, hey, I'm here now. The other lady was surprised. He's like, oh yeah, I had no idea somebody else was in their spot now. Okay. Like
it does assume that you know a little more than you don't, but I think even still you're like, okay, so he's a crime lord, and I think that's all you need to glean from it, just to move through the episode. You get to know the intricacies of how being a crime lord works. I mean, look it up. There's any number of ways to do that, but I think you get the idea. Like, okay, so, but it does come across as if he's like this guy that all of a sudden claims he is.
I mean, I feel like the whole time where they're giving him tributes felt like a waste of time. It was just like an unfunny jokes to me. It was just like, should I kill him?
I thought it's them showing who was going to be a problem and who wasn't. Introducing this,
like the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor, like introducing that, setting up for later.
Like I feel like they could have maybe done that in a different way. Maybe I don't know.
I'm the mayor of Crime Town.
I don't know what's going to happen with the mayor bringing like this new delegation over to speak with him. I'm thinking like
they have a mayor in Mos Eisley.
Mos Espa.
In Mawada?
I
must have missed that part.
It's a totally different jurisdiction, man. Learn your Tatooine politics.
I didn't see the difference.
What I'm talking about.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is this on Tatooine, or did I miss something? This is on Tatooine or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I actually could be confused on that if we were on a different planet. I wouldn't know.
So I think he's going to need to call up his old buddies, the Tusken Raiders, to be his little army. I'm just guessing. I think that might end up be where that story goes. While we're meeting them and seeing what happened to him, will ultimately converge with what's happening as the leader of Jabba Town or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, his buddies, he earned respect. He saved the kid. He let the youngling, the freaking Tusken Raider youngling, take credit for killing that creature. If you watch it again, right at the end, right before the Tusken King gives him some water, you can see the boy or girl, whatever's under that stuff, assume, let them assume that he was the one that did it. He's holding, a stick up like he's choking the creature, and they're all patting him on the back and on the shoulder, and he's like, oh yeah, So Boba's like, fuck this, I saved your kid. What's for me? The dad walks over, here's some respect in a cup. And so he drinks it, and that's the end. But I think later on the respect will come when, he needs somebody to help him out as enforcers, and I think they'll be his enforcers. It's just a guess, but
mm-hmm.
I think that's where the story will converge later. So it's stuff like that I see. I'm not sure anyone else sees, but I think that's what I get from, the questionable moments of, paying tribute stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's where it's going as well. It's just that, I don't know, when it comes like when they're in the street fighting, that's another thing of okay, if you're trying to capture them, this is a really weird way to do it. If you're trying to kill them, this is a really dumb way to do it. I don't know. Don't they have stun, literally, the knockout weapons?
Yeah, the Jawas use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's now we're gonna poke your arm and it tingles a bit, and then I don't know, and then the shield, and then as soon as the Gamorreans come in, they all deactivate most of their shields, and I'm like, well, wait a second, what? That was your biggest defense, and then I don't know, it just seemed like a really weird sequence of events, and I'm like, I have no idea what the enemy's trying to do, because I don't see them doing if you're trying to kill them, you could have easily you surrounded them already, you could have just shot them or something, but you're not going to do that. Okay, probably want them captured. Just seemed really weird their attempt to do that.
Yeah. Flip, I wanted to ask you, since you seem more engaged versus Ricky's just kind of through the motions. That's I'm fine. Watching whatever.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Nerdrotic, shared all roads lead to this # Book of Boba, and it's like Jake Skywalker drinking his soy latte on Last Jedi, and it's like, oh my god, like it's like, are you just gonna look like, I don't know, like I get the disappointment that like that movie sets, and this is before that. At the same time, it's like, are you just gonna live in butthurt? You can't enjoy anything around the show, around that movie, that like you're just, it's like at some point it's like, move on, like drop out of Star Wars, new material, or accept the good you can get. That's kind of where I'm at. It's like there's still fun with Star Wars. That movie, as awful as it is for me, a fan, I moved past it.
Agree. Well, I loosened my grip anyway. I still feel just as I feel his anger, like it flows through him. I get it, but I loosened the grip just enough to let some happy drip through. Because you're right. You gotta find some happiness, or what did you? Yeah, well, I think it's easier to with the Filoni Favreau verse. That's what I call it. But I think it's easier to with that, because they seem to get it pretty well. A lot better than anybody else. And so, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he might want to loosen up a little on certain things, but only he can decide to do that. In the meantime, we can be happy, and that's cool.
Yeah, no. I'm not like the SJWs where it's like, no, you don't like it. But at the same time, like I'm in this like this sphere, this collective of varying individuals that that we're all rooted in Last Jedi hate.
Sure.
That's what sparked all this creativity and discussion with each other. But at the same time, it's like, if that's all you feel all the time with anything that timeline comes before Last Jedi, and this is like so rooted, like, well, I can't enjoy anything because this happens, then why are you still watching? Like at that point, you're just a grifter. Like,
yeah,
that's how I feel about it. It's like, oh, company, you got a track record. We're almost 10 years into the ownership of Star Wars at Disney. You got a good track record of products. How you feel about them. At some point, it's like you are hurting yourself. You're causing your own pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what irritates me. I'm not the SJW. It's like, you didn't like it, you're a bigot or what? Like, no, I'm not that. That's stupid. At some point, it's like, move on. Put on some horse blinders and enjoy the parts that you do like, and ignore the new shit and the other stuff you did see you didn't like. Mm-hmm. Or take the good and the bad, what you can.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Well, you can't. And I think what would really make him happy, or people like that who just, hey, let's remember, first and foremost, a lot of it is because it gets views.
Yeah,
not all of it, but a lot of it. I mean, let's be honest. If it's going to get somebody to look, and you're making money, this is how you make money now. You better figure out a way to get people to your channel always. Not saying that's the main reason. Then you've got the fact that you are so angry that you can't let it go. I get that too. I really do. I've been there. All of us have been there at some point about something. You're wrong at some point, or maybe that maybe you should just relax a little. I get that feeling, but that's us on the outside. Maybe Star Wars abused him when he was little. There's that too.
I think it's a good point you mentioned that you haven't really elaborated on fully, but it's like you got two extreme camps. You got like someone like Mad Max and Jarbo in their camp, normally just crying about other people's
everything
complaints. But at the same time, you got like Nerdrock, Jeremy, etc. It's like, this is their job. They've made this a job. This is their income. So it's
right.
Like,
it's important.
It's sensational. It's like how much of anything that they say is genuine. That's how I feel about anyone that makes YouTube a career, talking about, Hollywood productions and stuff. Is like you find your niche, you find your wheelhouse, and it's like when you step out of that, usually it's like, oh, you get some hit back, or oh, I'm leaving this channel. People get really reactionary as fans to those channels. So it's like you kind of got to like stay in your lane and sell what you've been selling. And so that's why I'm like, it's like, I'll take your opinion with a grain of salt now at this point, because it's like, this is your money, this is a job.
Yeah, so, and you're right to a degree.
That's the fact that's the part of this, I think, underneath all that makes it infuriating. It's like, I don't even know if you're saying something truthful or if you're saying it to like keep generating clicks and attention.
I think he genuinely feels that way, but I think there are small parts that he probably likes, or people who Jeremy or just pick somebody who's up there with subs that they do and don't like. For the most part, I like what they say. It even makes me happy when they fucking take it apart, because I may like it and they may hate it. You always need somebody like that with a voice that loud, who's willing to say what needs to be said when the time comes that these freak bag, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I agree. I'm subbed, so it's like I find value in their commentary, but at the same time, it's like there's always that part of me where I'm like, does this say genuinely feel? Like
there's a big enough world in each of our heads to agree and disagree on many different levels with any given person. And I know real passive,
oh my god,
that's a real passive answer, but it's true, because man, I just I don't agree with my mom and dad, but I do agree with them on many things. You know what I'm saying? Hell, it could be the same TV show we're watching. My dad doesn't like something about it. I do, and that sucks, but it makes for real interesting conversation, and that's cool.
Yeah, what's up with Lantine?
Matthew Wayne says you have to take all the criticism with a grain of crate salt. And Lantine has arrived. Says, "What's up, jelly roll people?"
Let me devote a part of script and screen time just to clarify that this is not snow, but salt that turns red when you step on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say on Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. See, what's funny? It's like I love. It's like you guys both want me to watch it. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I'll watch it if you guys want me to. Like that's fine. I might even try to please Angus and finish Mandalorian at some point, so I can at least get a full view on it instead of just my assumption that it's all pretty meh. So I might do that just to do that. I might be proven wrong. Who knows? But
you don't have
I feel like I won't be.
What do you not like about it?
It's like it's just nothing about it interests me. Like the first 4 episodes was just kind of like he's walking around and Jawas, it's kind of funny how the Jawas took apart of stuff, I guess, and I have no interest in Baby Yoda or anything about Baby Yoda at all. Which is sort of the main hook, I guess, is Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda.
I feel like what they're choosing to focus on just doesn't interest me. I wouldn't mind seeing stuff in those time zones, but this character, I kind of thought it'd be one thing as well, being like a silent character. No, and then just seeing, I don't know, it's a lot of events. I'm just like, this is so. I'm okay with some slow burns, but like it's asking like for over 2 hours of my time before anything happens. And it's like, I don't know if I wanted to go through that.
Well, for something called Star Wars, there's not a whole lot of wars.
I guess. I mean, it doesn't need to be all intense. I mean, I'd be satisfied if there was better dialogue or better moments in general. It doesn't need to be all action. In fact, it depends on how they do action that interests me. Like if it, in this Book of Boba Fett episode, if they could have better character scenes instead of some of the action, I'd be fine with that. Mm-hmm. Like that's how I am with it. Like I'm okay with slow stuff as well. It just depends what's happening, and it just seems like I'm just like I'm not as into the world anymore. Like I don't like I'm just checking up on something that I don't have that much interest to see what happens next. I don't care. Like why would I? Like if I were to be surfing channels, I'd probably just skip it. Like when you stick on something, that looks pretty good. I feel like I'd be like,
I think the problem. I think there's 2 problems with this show and Star Wars in general. In this discussion, it's Star Wars before, even in the prequels, was one of the only games in town. Now you got unlimited everything you want to watch, barring like a new live like football game or whatever. is at your fingertips on your Xbox, on your phone. It's such, and and there's so many things competing for attention. And then there's other mediums of entertainment, not just in this specific medium, where it's like, oh, like, we had like a week of like Spider-Man is like all we're talking about. Now it's like, oh, Witcher's season 2's out, Cobra Kai season 4, Book of Boba Fett just dropped, and it's like, fuck, there's so much stuff. Like,
yeah,
not enough time. And so it's like you got to be selective with like the right choice. Like you want to get the most bang for your buck, and so you're kind of getting spread thin. Versus before is like, ooh, this is the thing, and I think that's part of the problem. And then this specific show is like you gotta have invested some time beforehand with something previous to like really grasp where we're at right now. And so it's a hard thread to follow, to nail, I think, creatively. But the other thing I was gonna say is like, man, just think if like we did all the same products as far as like, let's do a new trilogy, let's do a show, let's do a Kenobi show, like have all the same like ideas set, but if this was Fox or Universal instead of Disney, because this show they got to hit like the all ages factor. PG-13 is the hardest they'll go, barring putting it on like one of their like sub like 20th Century Studios or Touchstone before, whatever. So they gotta like, well, he's a crime lord, and it's alluded to that Jabba, might have been like raping Leia or something, and that was a plan, before. Now it's Disney owns it, and so you got this crime lord, but you can't be too crime, you can't be too violent, because this is House of Mouse main, feature show right now,
right?
And I think that hurts like the potential of like somebody. Boba Fett should have like John Wick potential of like we might drift in some rated R territory.
That'd be cool,
a little more gritty, and they're not willing to go that far, and that hurts the potential of this kind of show where it's like, oh, it could be cool, but we'll never get like that full range like we want.
Yeah, make the sexy a little sexier, make the violence a little more violent.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if it's true, but I was laughing with Rookie about this. Apparently, when I was looking through comments on official Book of Boba Fett Twitter recent posts, someone's like, thank you for this. I guess like the green male Twi'lek in the background is supposed to be a trans Twi'lek. And it's like, oh, fuck. Like,
that's the Twi'lek healing baths, I think, that they were talking about. Twi'lek healing baths, Mervin. Gotta go there. Pretty cheap this time of year. Yeah, and it might be. That's what I was thinking for real. Like, it was the end of. Well, I don't know. Grief Karga is the one who said it. Take the money, man.
I was like, where? I know I've heard that. What's he alluding to specifically? Okay, yeah. First episode. Okay,
yeah, it's like first episode or two there. Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. I think that's why they went there to allude to that anyway. And I thought, because they got the sexy Twi'lek and then the other one that was green and trans. I guess they literally said trans. Okay, well.
I haven't seen it confirmed from like Angus, but I saw someone like, thank you for this.
Well, it's like when Angus told me this, I was like, was the character prominent in the show? Like, I didn't see the episode yet. And he's like, no, he's in the scene for like 5 seconds. I'm like, why does anybody on either side give a shit? Like, it's like
oh no, it's banned in China. There. Don't worry. Like, they edited that out. Don't worry. Like,
yeah, it's that kind of thing where it's like, if you blinked, you literally would have missed it.
Honestly, I kind of wish they would have like sub options for like Disney Plus, where it's like, can I get the Disney Plus that you're selling to China where I don't get SJW crap?
No doubt, it wouldn't be in there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
I want Chinese state approved Disney Plus.
Oh boy. Totally.
The ship is still called the Slave One.
Yep. Slave 5,000 now. Mantuine says, yeah, I do accept the Mandalorian episodes were intended to be slow burns and arching Western narrative. A bit too formulaic with the mission of the week. Season 2 got more interesting.
All right. So this, to add to what he's saying, this is part of the problem of Last Jedi and its reception. Like, they know how fans feel. They know at best it's like a 50-50 split on that movie. That a huge chunk are so disenfranchised they just walked away or whatever. And part of what I can give props to Last Jedi was like it was bold in some of its narrative choices. It had originality in that aspect. It was trying to break the mold of like the standard box Star Wars is in. With like its big picture limits, and that didn't go over well. And so now, so when it's like, oh, this stuff's so boring, and it's like a mission of the week, blah blah blah. I'm not mocking you, Matsween, but like that's like a general consensus I hear a lot with these shows. Even like the critics on Rotten Tomatoes are like, love it. And it's like, well, I mean, when you have backlash like Last Jedi, you kind of completely backtrack the other way. So it's like, it's like they're not going to be adventurous and take risks when they've seen the decline before. Now they tighten up the hatches. Now you're going to get standard Star Wars, standard stories. So that this is part of the hurt of being like Menace and how it has led the charge with criticism. And so
it's like they could still make something short and sweet that is risky, but not like that's what I'm saying. I guess it's like this is a longer investment over something I consider mundane. It's just like I don't know, just at least for now. Like again, other people feel different. You can be excited. It's cool. It's just like if this was like right after the prequels or something, and they started having new shows or whatever, I feel like it'd be a little different sentimentality going into it. All this stuff would be. Like I don't know. I don't even know if they would do this type of attempt either. I don't know. I don't think they need a show really. Like if I were going to get down to the nitty gritty, but
when they bought it and then they blew their load trying to, make everyone love this SJW bullshit Star Wars that God, I don't even know if I would call it Star Wars. When they ruined it, they took a couple $1 billion hits there in the pocket, and then now they have this Favreau and Filoni thing that does make them money. So they're like, okay, well, we do like money. So you guys take it slow and let's see what works and what doesn't. And then we'll kind of build to a little bit more before we ever do another movie again. And that might or might not be what it is, but that's how I'm feeling it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm cool if they still make stuff like this, and if a lot of people are satisfied with it, that's fine with me. It's just like I don't know, like I don't have just investment personally. It's anymore. It's just kind of dissipated. And until I say anything that gets it back ignited, I don't know what will. To be honest, like if you're to ask me what would get me back into it, I have no idea.
Well, I don't know what they could do. A rumored return of Mace Windu. Then there's the Ahsoka series, but Obi-Wan Kenobi series as well. Does any of that?
So I guess that's what's interesting. I don't care if any character ever returns. I'd rather. I don't know. Like I don't need to see any character I've seen before again.
All right. What if they did a completely new Star Wars set 10,000 years in the future or some shit?
Then I guess it would just be how well they can make the movie, I guess. But I don't even know if they could do that well, just based on their track record so far. Okay. I don't know if I'd go in going, oh yeah, this is probably going to be good. Like I don't know what they could do to get me invested right now.
God, don't do zombie. I read like part of the EU book with that shit.
Zombies are quite often in everything these days. I don't know. That's I need a little break from zombies too.
Well, like something new and interesting is what you're saying.
I guess I don't know. Like it just like with it because we're talking specifically Star Wars. Like I don't know. Like and even stuff I like, I don't know if I want to rush into. Like I was surprised that I liked No Way Home. I wasn't expecting to like it. And that was a good surprise. And the way they utilized characters is nice. It was like, oh wow, that was interesting. But yeah, that was a surprise though. Like I don't that's funny. I don't have expectations to subvert anymore. I don't know what to expect from anything.
Yeah, I don't know. You've been rubbed the wrong way once or twice.
Yep, but
how about you start rubbing the right way?
I'll use the other hand now. But if Flip said he's got to go in a few, so
yeah,
if you want to do a little round table, last thoughts on the book of Boba Fett starting with the Flipster.
Word. So like overall parting view, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's a good start because they went ahead and, for me anyway, they, if you don't know who the character of Boba Fett is now, then you might want to go back and watch some stuff. So they didn't have to do a lot of character development, but you had to basically find out where he was, where he's been, and I think that sets up where they're going to take him later. So I knew that right off the bat. An ungodly amount of YouTube videos about it in the first place, not to mention all the original material. So I kind of knew all that. But I like that I could even say in the middle of this episode, I knew where he took a break and went to help the Mando, Like I could point that out in that episode, like, okay, here's where it stopped, and he goes to help Mando, and here's where he comes back and he does this. So that worked, and I dropped that in my mind. I could pause it even if I wanted to watch the other, Mando episode where he's in it, and come back to this and finish it. So I knew right where I, left off. I knew right where I had been, and I knew what they were trying to say with the Sarlacc pit. Which, by the way, I got goosebumps when he come up out of there, and you could see the remains of the sailing barge. That was so cool, man. It took me back to 10 years old. That was awesome. And of course, I like how it went back to Attack of the Clones on Tepecoa City, or Tapioca City. That's what I always call it. Water and shit, So that was really cool. But overall, I mean, it wasn't the most exciting episode. And for it being this, the whole fandom's calling it a slow burn. So let's call it that. It was still enough action to interest me. I think it's going to be more than just a slow burn. It's going to build to a crescendo, and that's what I'm going to look forward to every week, to have just a little bit more excitement, more and more and more. That's where I'm at.
All right, sweet.
Okay, make sure my mic was on. Forget that button. Yeah,
he muted it so he could beat them. Oh, Dad, no.
Fuckers won't shut up. Like, stop, kid. Guy's trying to be on nerd time.
Pikel, be quiet.
Nerd time.
Freaking Pikel.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
So your summary, your take. Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's not like mind blowing, but I don't need that. I just like the middle episodes of Bad Batch, opening episodes of season 2 Mando. They were just kind of living Star Wars. They weren't plot dense. They weren't overly. It's just like, let's live in Star Wars, and I really like that angle. I know a lot of people feel underwhelmed by that, but I think that's fun to just actually play some of these toys that they got now with Star Wars, and see the kind of minutiae. Like, it's fun for me to see that kind of detail, and thinking out oh, how can we show this? The one thing though, there's that kid teenager Tusken Raider that's taking them out to dig up the water stuff or whatever, and they get attacked. When they first show him, I'm not gonna lie, he sounded.
You're gonna go. It's the girl from Solo.
No, he just for a reason the age or whatever with that Tusken, he sounded retarded.
To be fair, that's kind of the species.
No, normally it's okay, yeah, they're Tusken, they got this weird vocalization and stuff, but with that one, there's just something really retarded with it.
Donkey.
Isn't that the noise they try to emulate?
I don't know. I don't really know what the origin of the Tusken sounds is.
It sounds like a donkey trying to have sex with something that does not agree with it.
Yeah, no, I thought this was fun, and it's just kind of letting you breathe for a moment, which is usually a problem with Disney products in general. Just so plot heavy and dense with little here, ping, 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 and then it's don't think about it, And this one's yeah,
that's
think
true.
all you want, man. I'm open to criticism. I like that. That's what's good about a slow burn.
That's fine.
It's a good change of pace. I'm
not hold on, real quick. I'll interject. If we're comparing to anything, I'd take this over the sequel stuff. In general, I'd prefer slow burn than a quick flash. Everything's happening all the time pace of oh shit, slow down. So I prefer the slow compared to the too
speaking
quick
of the sequels, really quick.
anything.
I was checking in on John Boyega. I was like, well, that's the most recent because I was looking at Redbox.
And he sounds like a donkey. No, just kidding.
And what's funny is
saying John Campia for a sec. Sorry.
He's got a new movie. Currently, it's at $3,000 at the box office. So he's doing wonders after Star Wars.
What's
he's
the
a
movie?
huge, I don't know, some race bait and shit, I think. But yeah, that's him after Star Wars right now, which is I love.
That's funny. You should do a video.
Get used to it.
You should do a video with that. 3,000 box office. Good job, Boyega. You and Ray Fisher are doing great. Or something.
They should team up. They could be like Smollett and
you guys can make $6,000 at the box office. So that's a lot for a person of color.
Oh damn!
That's a boogie. That's an old boogie one.
Oh wow!
You can say stuff like that with Angus on here.
Ricky's on a roll. I love it. It's not normal. It's not often you can like sideswipe me with a good race joke.
You're setting him up pretty well though, and unknowingly.
It's like $3,000. It's like if he worked with Ray Fisher, he might make 4.
You could double that, get a whole 6, and there you go.
But no, this was fun, man. We definitely gotta do our concise reviews tomorrow and upload them. And I want to do this more often with y'all. This recap every week with the
I feel like Wednesdays and Thursdays are probably our best shot at meeting up at the same time.
Fandom collective circle jerks.
Yeah, boy. Big dick energy. What's your kid around?
Oh no, Jack Murphy's got that big dick energy.
I was waiting for you to bring up Jack Murphy.
Keener.
That's there. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate the subs, Matt Tween.
And I'm gonna drop out right now just so we don't keep rambling. I'm gonna go enjoy Boba Fett with my kids. Talk to y'all tomorrow.
Have fun suffering.
Hop on over tomorrow 9:15 with me and Ricky on my channel, All American Beef Stream. See ya.
Hell yeah,
beef.
All right, and thanks Flipster as well. We're both on the collective at the same time again. It's like twice in a row.
I'm shitting, spitting, crying.
It's like a miracle.
Crazy.
And, thank you, Atlantean and Matt Tween, for coming by, and Sherry a little bit ago, and Karen. Left right after Angus right there.
Lots of fans here on the Fandom Collective.
Indeed. And so everybody go check out while we sign off, there's probably like 15 people streaming right now. So you can, Wednesdays and Thursdays are the busiest nights of the week. So there's plenty of people to watch. I want to go support the creators, tweeting them out on the collective Twitter as well. And any last words, Flipster?
No, but thanks for coming by, everybody. Really, I think the idea of us doing this weekly is a great idea. And God knows I need to get my voice back out here with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. May the force be with us.
Hell yeah. We make no promises, but we're going to try.